Hey, my name is Andrew Couch, and I'm the creator of Sweetboard, a dashboard for conducting sentiment analysis and text mining for Twitter data. You may have seen my Sweetboard on shinyapps.io. However, you can also download it from my GitHub, where it's github.com/andrew-couch/sweetboard. For this demonstration, I'll be using Sweetboard with token, which allows me to not have to manually enter in my Twitter API stuff right here. So when you download Sweetboard, you can just select everything and run the R script. And then RStudio will pop out the app. So what's great about Sweetboard is it's a pretty high level tool for any analyst to just conduct basic text mining on. It's made for Twitter data, and you really don't need any programming experience to use it. So for here, you can type in a user to scrape their tweets, and you can specify the amount of tweets. The reason why 3,200 is the cap is Twitter API only allows you to scrape 3,200 tweets. When you scrape those tweets, you can also download it as a CSV, or you can use it for future use. And here is where you can upload a file of tweets to analyze for Sweetboard. So right now, I'll just open it up, and I'll upload some tweets that I already scraped. These are Donald Trump tweets. I scraped about 2,059 tweets. When you upload it or scrape the tweets, they'll give you some KPIs, a basic summary statistics of the metrics, and also show you the most recent tweets that you scraped from it. I'm going to break this demonstration into different videos, one for each tab, because of my video recording constraints. However, we'll start with Engram Analysis. And Engram Analysis is just analyzing groupings of words. So n grams is just the nth gram. So right now we're at 2, which is 2 grams, which is also commonly referred to as bigrams. As you can see, of the is the most common. However, we can also chain it to trigrams, such as 3 words groupings. Or we can do quadgrams, which are 4 word groupings. Or we can just do the traditional bag of words, which is just a unigram or just a single word. You may have noticed that these words are kind of useless because it just contains like the, to, of, and it doesn't really add any meaning. We can use remove stop words, which will remove common filler words, and I'll show you some more valuable information, such as our country, President Trump, stuff like that. And what's cool is it applies to any kind of engram, so you can do it to a trigram, or you can do it to the basic bag of word. Additionally, some people will find that they only need to filter out one word. So right here, I might want to filter out just the, so I'll type in the, and I'll filter out any word, any engram that contains the word the. Also, you may want to find engrams that contain a specific word. So with Donald Trump, I know Donald Trump does not like Democrats, so I'm going to look up engrams that contain the word Democrats. So here he says do nothing Democrats. He says something about the Democrats. He does a lot of references to Democrats. Additionally, you may notice the bottom chart, which is a negation engram, and what this finds is the first word, it'll find engrams that contain whatever word it is. So right now it's the negation word, so any trigram that the first word contains not, right? So not, have been, not even close. And it's a common thing to analyze word associations with negations. So another negation word would be no. So we'll see that. So no quid pro quo, no collusion, no relationship, stuff like that. However, it is really just finding engram that contains for the first engram. So you could say Joe, right? It'll probably be Joe Biden, Joe something. And as you can see, with trigrams, it gets a little messy as there's a ton of ties. However, we can switch it to 2 maybe. Joe Biden, stuff like that. So it works with negations. However, it's really finding the first word that contains this value. That's it for this tab. I'll pause this page and we'll go on to the next tab. Okay, so we just finished Engram Analysis tab, and you can just do basic analysis on Engram or word groupings, and also find word associations. So now onto sentiment analysis. So with the sentiment analysis tab, you're first going to see the Bing lexicon. Right here is showing the top 5 positive and negative words. However, you can also switch it to AFIN. You can switch it to Lofren. And you can switch it to my favorite, NRC. So they're basically different types of sentiment. They both have their pros and cons, and you can just analyze whatever you want. So right here, we may notice that for negative words, with the Bing lexicon, always makes sense. However, for the positive words, Trump does not make a lot of sense. Because Donald Trump will say his name a lot, and Trump is considered a positive word. So we can also filter the sentiment analysis right here. So it removes Trump from the sentiment analysis. So now we have more representative sample of the most positive words. Lastly, I guess right here we can find that this is a Bigram analysis or Engram analysis, where we'll find the top N engrams for positive and negative sentiment. Right here, these are thank you. So maybe thank is a commonly associated positive word, and with Engram analysis, we can see that he says thank you a lot. You can also switch it to just a basic unigram or bag of words, which is the same thing as this, but in a different format. However, you can also go to trigram, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool just to see a different display of information with the same data. Additionally, you can look at positive and negative trends for tweets per day. Right here, you can see positive and negative sentiment has gone up. Additionally, his tweets per day have gone up, so you might have to account for that. And right here is the top 5 positive and negative tweets right here. So he's saying some very negative stuff right here. And he's saying some pretty positive stuff with some congratulations. And that's really it for the sentiment analysis. You don't need to remove stop words because it uses the lexicon dictionary. And you can do some basic filtering like the Engram analysis from the previous tab. I'm going to pause this video and we'll move on to tweet metrics. So we finished up sentiment analysis and we'll move on to tweet metrics. So with tweet metrics, we can just analyze basic tweet KPIs such as daily favorites, daily retweets, and just daily tweets. As you can see, you can do maybe an outlier analysis where right here, we got a lot of tweets. I wonder why. We might have to investigate that. Right here, this is a top N tweets, common words. So it finds rankings of KPIs. So the top 100 tweets of so the top 100 favorites for the tweets will be right here. Top 100 retweet tweets will be right here. And we can also find the word associations with it. So given the top 100 favorited tweets, Make America Great was mentioned the most out of them. The United States was mentioned for the top retweets. We can change it to just basic bag of words. The, to, and, not really great information. We can switch it to bigrams, our country, the United States. So we mentioned a lot about the United States. You can also change it to top 250 words if you want a better sample. And we can change it to top 3, top 2 trigrams to make them more, to analyze something else. So, out of the top 250 favorite tweets, the Republican Party is mentioned a lot. And right here, you can see just top 5 favorite tweets, right? Additionally, we have some, Additionally, we can use remove stop words. However, it's not as useful for this right now. However, maybe we might find bigrams to be a little bit more useful. So Joe Biden still is pretty tight, so I wouldn't put any merit to this analysis right now. However, maybe a general bag of words would be mentioned. Again, not the greatest, so we can't really gain too many insights from this right now. However, maybe there's something here, but I'm not really sure at this moment. Okay. Right here, top N. This is on just basic mentions. So it's finding the top 5 most mentioned people given the tweets. So Fox News is mentioned the most, followed by Fox and Friends, CNN, Lou Dobbs, and Sean Hannity. We can change it to top like 7. Tucker Carlson, White House, and we can go even farther. However, we're gonna come with visual constraints where it'll start getting smushed. So we'll just put it back to 5. Right here is a great way to analyze tweet metric distributions. So this is basically kind of like A/B testing, where you want to find tweets that contain a word and tweets that don't contain the word and see how they perform differently. So right here, let's analyze just the Democrats. And right here, it'll just do a basic analysis. So right here, it finds all tweets that contain the word Democrats and compares to all tweets that don't have Democrats in it. And we can see how, and the black line is the median for each thing. So right now, Democrats maybe perform a little bit less, but they're still very similar. Same with retweets. In fact, right here, if we look at it, since the scales are a little bit different, right here and right here, that Democrats will receive more retweets than the average tweet that doesn't contain Democrats. So you can gain some pretty good insights with just how word associations work with a tweet and their general KPIs. Lastly, this is another A/B testing where it's containing the top 50% of tweets with the bottom 50% of tweets, and it's finding word associations. So right now, what it's saying is, given the top 50% of tweets and the bottom 50% of tweets, the words that distinguish those groupings for the high performers are Baltimore, Elijah, L, Cummings, and Paso. The bottom 50 performing tweets contain these words, and obviously you can change the metrics on what is considered a bottom performing tweet. So for me, 50% doesn't really make that much sense. However, 20% makes more sense. So the bottom 20% performing favorited tweets, here's some word associations. So bottom performer tweets have the word Facebook and Wisconsin in it. Additionally, you can change the metrics to retweets. So top 80% retweets compared to the bottom 20% retweets, we can see what has the largest word associations. So high performing, or the remaining 80%, contain Schiff. The bottom 20 contain interviewed. And additionally, you can change the engrams to bigrams. And additionally, it's really not great to compare as the top 80% as being high performing. It would really be easier just to change it to 80%. So right here, the top 20% tweets contain A app, things they hate, stuff like that. The bottom 80% just contain these things. These are very normal tweets. However, high performing are these tweets. And from me just understanding the tweets, A app is actually ASAP. So it's tweets that contain ASAP Rocky when ASAP Rocky was being released. You can also change it. ASAP. So ASAP, when he tweeted ASAP, that must have been a huge tweet for him to tweet, and he got a lot of favorites from it. But additionally, let's look at just bottom 20%. So bottom 20% tweets, he's talking about a book link and stuff like that. And you also need to change it to trigrams. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already, but the way it's doing it is it's using TF-IDF, which is a Engram or word weighting system, where it's trying to find commonly used words in a group that are also rare among the entire data. So right here it says for the bottom 20% tweets, a common word that was used was great book, was basically great in book. However, in the remaining 80% tweets, these words were very common and that could also identify this grouping of 80% tweets. Okay, so we finished the basic tweet metrics. And that's basically the entire dashboard. This dashboard is really just made for basic Twitter and tweet analytics. You can do a lot with just basic Engram analysis and doing A/B testing and comparing groupings of tweets by dividing them and making subdivisions. I think it's really a great tool because you really don't need a lot of technical skills to actually use this dashboard. You really need a lot of domain knowledge. As for applications, I think this really could help marketing firms who just started a marketing campaign, such as a social media campaign on Twitter. You can find like also coupon associations. So say Chipotle released coupons on their tweets, they could understand how it performed compared to themselves. Additionally, financial analysts could use this to scrape financial data or analyze market sentiment. Finally, I am going to be adding some more features and some more tabs, specifically like a random sampling feature that would sample random tweets, and it could stream in tweets, so you could just analyze just basic sentiment through that. I hope you learned a little more about Sweetboard, and I also hope that you can use it and conduct some great analysis.